Hello, everyone. This is Howard Fox, and I am back here on the. Let me do that again. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone. This is Howard. I am back here with UnCruise Adventures here on the Wilderness Discover. We are here in beautiful Alaska. Specifically today, it was cloudy and rainy. The sun brightened up for a minute there. Now it's cloudy and rainy again. But you know something? It's beautiful out there, and we are in Takatz Bay. And I have the pleasure of introducing you to Megan. She is the expedition leader here on the Wilderness Discover. And something also special about Megan, she is formerly or was born and raised in Chicago, so I feel like we have a degree of separation from each other. So she has been introducing the day's activities, morning, night, telling us what's going on, and really, with her and her team, really keeping us engaged and interested in studying about what we have in store for us. So Megan, it's a pleasure to meet you today.
It is a pleasure to be here.
And I have to ask first off is, how did you end up on such a beautiful boat in a beautiful place in the world? I mean, you must be somebody pretty special.
Well, I would hope so. That's what my mommy tells me. It is a very roundabout story. I think like most people up here, pretty much anyone you talk to, if you ask them how they ended up here specifically, no one has a straight answer. No one intended to move up here. No one intended to live up here, especially in a seasonal job like this. A lot of people will tell you, oh yeah, I came up for a season after I graduated college, and then I meant to just do one, and here I am 12 years later. So that's pretty much me. I graduated college in 2013, and I triple majored, and I was very tired. And my second semester of my senior year of college, I Google searched cool summer jobs because I thought I have an identical twin. And the two of us decided that we wanted to save up. We had paid for school, so we didn't have any money. We wanted to save up enough money to get an apartment in Chicago. And we thought the best way to do that would be to do something fun over the summer. So I Google searched cool summer jobs. I found a job horseback guiding in Skagway, a little bit north of here. And I kind of floated it to my sister as a joke, and my sister and one of my friends were just like, yeah, that sounds great, we just applied. So I was like, oh, I guess I better apply then. So then I applied. All three of us got the job, and 11 days after I graduated, I was up in Skagway. I came from Chicago, born in Indiana, raised in Chicago, and it was a massive culture shock, and ended up, of course, loving it. And then, just like I said, it was let's do one season. And then it was February in Chicago, which, if anyone is familiar with the Midwest, is a stunning time of year. And yeah, I was just, maybe go up one more time. And that was, 2013. So that was about 12 years ago.
The rest is history. And I'm curious, had you always been an outdoors type individual? I mean, you're up there with you are one of the authoritative figures here on the boat, okay? And I mean, there's a whole cast of crewmates who take care of us, but you're guiding or you're sharing what's in store for us. You have a habit of saying, this is my absolute favorite thing to do in this place at this time.
Well, I said we're on my dream schedule this week. I'm actually filling in for a friend this week, and I have worked as an expedition leader for the last 4 or 5 years for this company. So it's easy for me to kind of slip in. The Wilderness Discover was my original home when I first started, so I'm always really excited to come back to this boat. But yeah, when I got the opportunity to come back, I just said we're going to do my dream schedule. So yes, every day we are in one of my favorite places. But yeah, no, I was I was not a particularly outdoor child. We always played outdoors. I always loved the nature center nearby, but in particular, I mean, I love reading. I love a lot of sedentary inside activities. I'm very social. I love my friends. I love going out. And even on my breaks, I like traveling to see my friends, traveling with my friends. But in general, 16 to 18-year-old Megan would be really stoked, but really shocked to see me here now.
That's a very popular question that I often will ask my clients. Actually, I take that back. It's my podcast guest. What would what would you say to your 16-year-old self based on what you're doing today? What changes would you make? And is there anything different that you would say to her today based on your experiences that you've had?
You know what? No. I mean, it's really, I think about it a lot because have had like a very convoluted way of getting here. And I think like most people, it's not always been super pleasant. There's either been like illness or injury or disappointment. And at the time, I think about this a lot. Like at the time, I maybe was incredibly disappointed that I couldn't go with my friends to New Zealand because I was ill. But that led me to Key West instead. And so then I spent a winter working in Key West, and I worked on a sailboat for the first time. So then I fell in love with boats, and the sea time that I accumulated from there and all the places I've worked led to my captain's license. And it's just one of those things where every single choice or accident that I can look back at, it led me to this point somehow, and I am over the moon. I mean, you guys all keep saying, and I keep agreeing with, like, I have the best job in the world. I have worked hard to get here, but because of that hard work, I would not trade it for anything. So if I was looking at 16, 17, 18-year-old Megan, I would just say, buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride, but you are going to love you're going to love where you end up. So
That's great. And some folks, kids, they don't really know what they want to do. And I love the fact that you had this wild idea and said, let's just do it. And you had your twin and your friends say, yeah, let's do it. Now, are they still here?
Oh, yeah. Well, first of all, I'm an awful person to have around your kids because I am the one that's going to look at them and go, yeah, drop out of college. Yeah, you should go take a gap year. You absolutely should take that job in Alaska. You should move across the country at least once. You never know where it's going to take you. So, yeah, careful. But, my sister is actually incredibly impressive as well. She is an expedition leader, assistant expedition leader, and helicopter ops manager for a company called Quark that works in Antarctica and the Arctic. So,
wow. Does this adventure run in the family? Is there any other siblings? And what the parents and the aunts and uncles and the grandparents are probably going, oh, these two girls.
I've one aunt and one cousin that are like, yeah, we see you. And then my mom always jokes, well, I look exactly like my mother, so there's no questioning it. But she does always say if she hadn't birthed us, she wouldn't know where we came from. Our older brother studies theoretical physics, and he lives in Boston, and he has a wife and who's amazing, and my nephew who is perfect. And yeah, no, everyone's a lot more chill. My dad is very outgoing, and he was in the Air Force, so I think he is used to the traveling. And then before my grandma passed, I got a couple good stories out of her in the 1950s going off with her girlfriends and traveling all over. So I think it's somewhere there. Maybe it goes around, but it took 9 years for my sister and I to get my parents up here on a trip on I believe this boat.
That's fantastic. Now, how did you discover UnCruise Adventures? I mean, they're very niche market. I mean, when we think of cruises, we think of these big mega ships. And how did you come to get to know UnCruise Adventures?
Yeah, I mean, something I always tell friends and guests is that the seasonal work community is very small. It's vast and small. It's like the state of Alaska. If you tell me that my cousin works up in Alaska, the instinct would be to say like, oh, well, Alaska's a big state. I don't think I know your cousin, but I probably do. It's like a small town. And that's how a lot of people kind of string together seasonal work. And that's why I always encourage people to always try something in this field, because you'll show up to a seasonal job, you'll meet a bunch of really cool people, and then you'll decide to go to Thailand for 3 months backpacking, and like 10 of you will go together. And then one person will be like, well, I work in Colorado at a ski resort during the winter. Like, we should all get a house and go ski all winter. And that was it was my 4th or 5th year working in Skagway. And this great couple that worked on, shout out to Max and Liz, worked on the fast ferry that went between Haines and Skagway. And both of them had worked for UnCruise, and they, just got to looking at me and my sister and be like, you guys, you have the personality for UnCruise. I really think you guys should give it a go. I mean, you both work on, you kind of know boats, and you are used to living like a somewhat more unconventional lifestyle. Like, you should give it a try. And we actually did both apply, and then I don't know if it was that year or the year after, but they interviewed both of us together, and we both got the job, and it was pretty much history after that. That was, like probably 7 or 8 years ago now.
Well, the rest is history, and I can imagine just adventure after adventure, experience after experience. So I am curious, as a expedition leader, I have a sense of what you do, but I'm sure there's a lot more going on. So can you share with the audience, what does it mean to be the expedition leader on a boat like the Wilderness Discoverer?
That could be a long answer to a short question. When I meet guests for the first time, I pretty much tell everyone, like, hey, I have the best job on the boat. I'm in charge of everything fun that you do outside. So on a weekly basis, I help me and the captain and the mate. We plan the route. So we decide where we want to go next week. We look at fuel consumption and all of that. Mileage, can we make it? And then on the day-to-day basis, I plan the activities and assign guests to the activities. I always say I come around and I take all of your hopes and dreams, and then I put them together on a spreadsheet and just stare at it really intensely for about an hour, and then magic happens, and somehow there's a schedule at the end of it. So I plan the schedule. I also, I want to technically run the guide team, but I mean, we're so lucky. We have such an incredible guide team on board, and usually in general that everyone kind of runs themselves and is a little autonomous. Obviously, you've been out on trips with us. The guides that take you out there on their own, they're using their own knowledge and their own intuition to make you feel safe. But yeah, in general, I help manage the guide team and plan the routes and plan the day-to-day and attempt to take some of the face time off of the hotel manager.
Well, I have to say, from my perspective, you're doing a phenomenal job, and I'm just hearing the anecdotal comments from everybody else that I've been chatting with and getting to know. You're doing a bang-up job, and you are a great representative of UnCruise Adventures, and you make the time here on the Wilderness Discover. I almost said Wilderness Explorer, because I know you have one. I know you have one.
Yep. I was there last week.
So here on the Wilderness Discover, it's just we're having a bang-up time, and
that's all I want to hear.
I love it. So before we head out, any final thought, insight that you would like to share with our audience, whether they want to be the next expedition leader on a ship like the Wilderness Discoverer, or perhaps even for guests who think they'd like to go on a cruise, that they don't want the big mega ship, but they like to do something a little bit more intimate. You get to choose which question you want to answer.
I can kind of almost answer both of them with like the same pet peeve that I have, which is the term "do it while you're young." I feel like that is just a load of crap. And no matter where you apply it, you don't have to do anything while you're young. You should live multiple lifetimes in one life while you have it. I'm 32, so if you are 30 years old and you're like, oh, I'm not sure, like, if this is a long-term, like, feasible thing, I can't just uproot my life. And some people can't. There's illness, there's disability, there's I have friends that take care of family members. So, but within reason, it is never too late to pursue something that you might be passionate about. If you think it's crazy, oh, I couldn't possibly uproot my life and become a backcountry guide or work on a boat in Alaska, you absolutely can. I see it all the time. I work with people, deckhands who started and they're 45 years old and they're just giving it a shot. And I've seen people come on these trips who have never left maybe Ohio or Indiana or wherever, right? And it is truly life-changing, especially up here on a small, like, intimate cruise like this. This is how we help you experience Alaska. I mean, even what you said at the beginning, like, oh, yep, it's raining and cloudy out. Like, yeah, isn't that great? This is Southeast Alaska. We are getting it. We're getting the mist in the trees. Like, it can't be more heartbreakingly beautiful today. And if you are worried about travel or you're concerned about getting out of your comfort zone, it is the cliche, right? Like, what are you gonna regret on your deathbed? Not having enough money or not having stayed at home enough? Like, just get after it. You'll never regret it. And yeah, shout out to UnCruise if you come here. It's definitely a good way to do it.
It's very special, and I love, the words in which you've just gifted the listeners, and it's very true. I mean, you have to get out and explore, lean in, and, if not for yourself, for your friends, family, and hopefully you have somebody that can help you lean out with, and so you're not going it alone. Megan, thank you so much for taking time out of what I know is a very busy day, and I love that you were able to spend some time with us. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I think you got my only free 10 minutes of the day, so well done.
All right, so I think I owe you a box of chocolate or something. I know you accept food as a gift.
Getting to sit down and just chat with someone was really nice. It's a nice break. So thank you so much. I appreciate you making the time.
You're very welcome. All right, folks, we've just been chatting with Megan. A long time ago, she was, grew up in Indiana or Ohio, Midwest, in Chicago, Midwest. And now she's just a citizen of the world because she gets to decide where she wants to lay her head at night, and I can guarantee you it's going to be some phenomenal places. And so she's doing a great job here as a expedition leader. And if you ever want to learn about this type of role, just reach out to UnCruise Adventures. We're going to provide the links in our show notes, and you'll get to learn more about Megan, her role in UnCruise Adventures. So this is Howard, another episode on the Outdoor Adventure Series, and we look forward to sharing more episodes from the Wilderness Discoverer. To learn more about UnCruise Adventures, visit their website at uncruise.com. You can also learn more on their social sites, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. If you enjoy podcasts devoted to outdoor adventure, find us online at outdooradventureseries.com. And remember, we welcome likes, comments, and sharing. You can also find us on our Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube pages by searching for Outdoor Adventure Series. And you can also find us on all of the leading podcast platforms. All the links that we mentioned just now can be found in our show notes for this episode. And until next time, we look forward to having you join us for a new episode of the Outdoor Adventure Series podcast. Take care now.